Hi everyone, welcome to your main OT. My name's Amanda. If you missed my last two videos, feel free to go down below and find them. One was pom-poms and the other was pipe cleaners, and today we're going to talk about rice. I understand right now it may be kind of a trying time to find rice. I know when I went to the store to try to buy a rice for this video, they did not have any small bags. They only had 25, 50-pound bags of rice. But if you are somebody that does have an abundance of rice, feel free to use them. If you're trying to decide about using the rice to feed your family or to make a sensory bin, you know which one you should do, and don't feel bad about that. This rice was actually donated to me because I couldn't find rice that I needed. So to start, a lot of people know the rice in the traditional sense of a sensory bin. So this is just a 9x13 pan that I used as a bin. Granted, with some kids, you may not want them to have a glass container, but you know your kiddo. For adults, I know there have been different times where people will fill buckets full of rice or different containers, and they'll take and work on opening and closing of the hand, moving the thumb in different motions, different things like that to try to strengthen the hand. This also helps in the sensory bin if you have a lot more rice to fill it and let the kid explore that way. I know some older adults also will make hot and cold packs out of rice. You can find more ways to do that online. Feel free to search around. I know most of you are familiar with the sensory bins, but I'm just here to show you a bunch of different ways that kiddos can manipulate the rice and explore the textures and sensations of the rice. So here I have a straw. So maybe they try to push all the rice over using the straw. Maybe they are farmers and they make their little rows, and they can tell you what they're going to plant in each row. So maybe they have beads, and this bead is my carrots. They're going to plant all the carrots, then they cover them back up. You can hide letters in the rice for kids that are working on letter identification or sequencing the alphabet or learning how to spell their name. It's a really great multi-sensory approach. You can also have them try to push all the rice into the corners. You can place a little picture down and have them try to cover it. You can also hide a multitude of different things in the rice for them to find, which is always quite fun. They can use scoops, different spoons. You can have them use measuring cups. All sorts of different ways to manipulate the rice. The rice is also a really great tool to practice math. For example, you look at this bowl of rice and you have to estimate which one has more rice. Does this big bin have more rice or this bowl? So then you can have the kid measure out which one has more rice. Or they can look at this bowl of rice and say, I think it has this much rice. So they fill up their measuring cup and they find out, it's got more than a quarter cup of rice. So then they would have to make a educated guess again. So they can practice measuring. It's a good way to practice fractions in a very tangible, hands-on way. You can also have them practice moving the rice, again, like I said, in different ways. Hopefully you have a funnel at home. If you don't, you can be like me and cut it out of the top of a bottle. Just be careful, the edges can be quite sharp. But when in doubt, OT it out. So this also gives a really cool auditory experience. Listening to the rice go through the funnel. You can have them funnel it into different containers. So here I have a pom-pom, a dice, a paper clip, and a bead. So you could have them put the funnel in and make their own I Spy bottle. So here we've hid the items, and you could fill it as high as you wanted to. And then they have to kind of turn it or shake it to try to find those objects again. Just remember that depending on your kiddo, you may not want them to have glass. This glass was a salsa container, so they may need a plastic bottle. It just may be safer. So always consider safety when making these decisions. If it's in a plastic bottle, it would be a pretty fun kind of tool that you could take on the road. Try to see as they spin it how many different things they can find, and they can report back to you, which is a really great way to work on their verbal skills, saying, I saw a green pom-pom, and a lot of the social aspects of that. You can also, of course, dye the rice. So here's my blue rice I dyed, green rice, yellow rice, and red rice. These are just small batches to show you the different colors. I use quite a bit more dye than I think most people would, but when these colors are all mixed together, it makes a really pretty sensory bin. But it also is great for having the kids see all the different colors. It creates a different visual, and it also can make it harder to hide objects. So for example, the red bee in the rice doesn't stick out as much because they're similar color and you don't get the same contrast. So it's a really good way to hide objects. You can also use balloons. So I filled this balloon up with rice, and it makes a really nice stress ball. And when you squeeze the rice, it creates this pretty hard feel that I quite like. And you can see that it still shows all the little rice pieces. I would say if you are going to make a sensory ball like this, or a stress ball like this, that you double up on the balloons, just because you don't want rice all over your floor. You can also balloon with rice and blow it up, so it has this really great sound. And this creates another auditory experience for the kid. And it's a pretty cool visual, because you can see the individual pieces of rice moving around. So yeah, there you go, guys. 10 plus ways to use rice. If you have any comments or questions or concerns, please post them below. And I did hide the object that we're going to talk about next week in this video. So if you can guess what it is, comment that below too. See you all next week. Have a great day.